Welcome to School Leader Vibes, a podcast where three friends from high school, who are now in charge of running high schools, gather to discuss the world of educational leadership one story at a time. Today, Jordan, Matt, and I share our personal school experiences as children of immigrants. We discuss some of the challenges that newcomers have with navigating the educational system and how our experiences influence our leadership. Thanks for joining us for some laughs, inspiration, and a whole lot of school leader vibes. Let's go. Half an hour podcast is like the sweet spot. Half an hour is like quick, easy. Like it
is good, digestible.
Yeah. Right. So I'm like, oh, what if we aim a half an hour? I think it's good.
It's perfect. Mm-hmm. All right. So what are we discussing now?
Well,
I
would love to talk about, as a new team, some of the behind the scenes to your podcast, because I have the privilege of knowing you guys on a personal level.
Hold on, I thought we were doing a different thing.
What's the other one?
The other one you put in the chat.
Experiences
with education.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, sure.
About our experience in high school.
Oh. Because your dad's an immigrant, no?
Yep.
But your mom isn't.
Correct.
How old was your dad when he came?
5.
How was your dad?
What?
How was your dad?
Carl's good.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, man.
Saw him at church.
Yep.
On the weekend.
Guy just bounces around in hockey arenas and...
Guess who he didn't see at church this weekend? You.
He was looking for his son.
Because he said, Cambridge.
He said, "Where's my son? You're always here. Where's my son?"
Have you seen Matt anywhere?
I raised him a good Catholic, he said.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, one of my favorite stories I have is as first generation immigrant here in Canada. So I did this French project. And it
high school?
Yeah, high school. Yeah, so high school. So it's way back in the day when you had like the VHS camcorders, like the editing was like choppy, all that. Nothing like what we have now today on cell phones. But so I did this video in French. And I was the only one to do a video for my presentation. So I got an awesome mark in it. Teacher called home to say how awesome I did on it. My mom answers the phone, who can't really understand English, and she just heard school, teacher, Delmar, and automatically assumed, okay, yeah, so I did something bad at school. Okay, thank you. Don't worry about it, right? So when I got home, man, I got grilled, and it was like, what'd you do at school? And why did the teacher call me? And I'm like, I honestly have no idea. Like, I literally didn't do anything bad. And it was like just getting grilled. And so anyways, so I went all night thinking, like, I'm like, what did I do at school that was so bad? And then when I showed up at school the next day, my teacher was like, hey, called home. I told your mom how great you did. And I was just like, yeah, don't ever call home again, because she didn't get that message.
I think that's probably pretty relevant to some of the students we experience now, especially in our offices.
Yeah.
They're like, some are like, just don't call home. Whatever you do, like, I'll do whatever.
For a variety of reasons, right?
And even if you explain, you tell them I'm going to explain that, like, you weren't really in the wrong. You just happen to be like, I'll even make it soft. They're like, just don't do it. Yeah. Just don't call Horn, because you're
it's that taboo, right? Yeah.
Like, no. Well. And even like, we'll talk about our own experience in a sec, but I had a parent recently that was like, if the principal's calling me, then something's bad.
Yeah.
That I don't care. It doesn't matter what I say.
Yeah.
The principal called. Yeah. You did it's bad.
Yeah.
They don't even listen to the conversation. It's like, no, I just need some more information. They're like mad because I called. Because I took the time I gave him a call. It must be something bad.
Yeah.
But that's just an understanding of what that role is. Mm-hmm. It's not always bad.
Right.
But our folks,
how
our
often are you actually calling for, like...
Not good all the time. Not good
news,
many
right?
times. Yeah,
news
it's
stories.
about 80-20.
I got to get better at that.
Okay, about 80-20.
Yeah.
But like to your point, my parents would say the same thing, like, principal's calling.
What'd you do?
Because they have no reason to call unless you did something bad.
Yeah.
Right? And that might still be the perception for most people.
Yeah.
And you're right. About 80% of the time is probably true.
Yeah.
I know Matt mentioned on one of the podcasts earlier that he spent some time in the principal's office. So I'm curious about your...
For what?
Well, hold on. I just want to add on to what you were saying.
Okay.
You'd be a great politician. You just duck and dodge your questions. Deflect.
And, thinking about like how the kids are perceived going to the office. We've talked about this before. Some kids get really nervous coming to the principal's office.
Yeah.
And so do teachers. They're nervous coming to the office. But some parents also, you can tell that they're nervous coming to the office. So I think, Delmar, was it you who brought up on an earlier pod that where you have a meeting, like you have to think about the location of the meeting, which will help maybe guide the meeting and help it be more productive, right? So, yeah, I do think about that with some families, about where the meeting's going to be, because just it being in the office, like I think is, triggers people in a certain way, depending on what their experience has been. Right, and depending what the meeting's about, especially too.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And wherever possible, I try not to have any meetings where it's sensitive or confrontational. I try to find a neutral space. But a challenge also too is that privacy, right? Like our offices are pretty private. You close your door. No one's coming into the office or anything like that. Where other venues tend to have the unexpected drive-by or the pop-in.
And there's no space in the school to necessarily just meet wherever you want to, depending on the time of day.
I've accessed the chapel for some tough conversations.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, is that with staff?
That's actually some place that I've never considered. That's brilliant.
With staff, not students, but staff. If I'm like, this is going to be contentious, it's definitely not a trick. But again, align the purpose.
Yeah.
Very clear, especially like we obviously teach in a Catholic school system. So meeting there, it's like kind of quiet, tranquil, and it does probably put the focus on like the spirit of what we're doing first.
Right.
So, and then we both come to it a bit more open that way. But you're right, like the neutral site not being like coming to the office or your office, is still going to have a connotation to it. It's carried that weight for years.
Yeah.
Principal's office, right?
Yeah.
So don't think I forgot about our question. So
I thought I skirted it pretty well.
You did a good job. That was like
why are we in the office?
Oh, it goes back to elementary school. Just schoolyard hijinks, right? Maybe playing a sport too hard. It ended up with somebody getting a bloody nose.
Duster?
Maybe it ended up with somebody getting a bloody nose back in the day.
All right.
Yeah.
How'd you handle that? How'd your parents handle that?
You know what? I don't know if anybody ever called my parents about it, because I would have heard about it at home.
Oh.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I was in grade 6.
So you would have definitely remembered if your
100%.
parents came into a meeting or something like that.
Yeah,
So none of that happened.
None of that happened. So I think it just got swept under the rug.
Yeah.
Just say sorry and be gone.
Say sorry and it's over.
Did you go to the office
five.
at all?
Of course I did.
Handshake.
Were you an office dweller, or was that
Look at me, Delmar. What do you think? You tell me.
Absolutely. 100% you were.
No, not at all.
Did you injure somebody?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Not seriously.
So you were the one with the bloody nose then.
I was the one with the bloody nose. That's right.
You were being nurtured.
Kind of a track record of
it's
that.
like how you would expect it to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That continued into your university career. I'm just pulling up the facts.
We don't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
True or false? You were kicked out of an intramural hockey game.
May have happened. I don't know. Sure. I'm not going to talk about those things on this pod.
You're just really passionate, right?
I love sports.
He loves sports. He goes definitely like 110% no matter what he's doing. But we were how old we were playing in that hockey. We were in our 30s already, right?
Oh, we've been 20s and 30s.
Okay,
yeah.
but
that was like 15 years.
So we're playing on this ice time. I'm the worst player by far on the ice. Matt's about the second worst. Out of all these guys here, some of them are playing.
It was really high level hockey.
They were very good, but
one is more in the OHL or what?
Some in the OHL. There was a guy that was in the current
NHLer.
Yeah, we were doing this in our 20s.
Yeah. Why would a current NHLer?
Because he's friends with some of these other guys.
Oh, okay.
And it was a good skate.
It was really good.
It was a good skate.
Everyone was in shape. We were even in shape then. But there's Matt out there, like he's like lining guys up, like body checking, injuring, ruining kids' careers.
Only one guy.
He was
only one guy. That's right.
So
I don't know if you ever played after that, but that's okay.
So it doesn't surprise me that you spent a moment in the principal's office for maybe going a little too aggressive in sports.
So why I say it's just passionate is because even in the math office, we would think about planning or trying something brand new in the classroom. He would sit down in the office and just toss a tennis ball back and forth at each other, right? Like bounce it on the floor and like you catch it. And then every now and then, whenever he got excited or passionate, like he would like whip it at me. Right? It's like, hey man, this isn't a game of like red ass. Like this is like we're just tossing the ball back and forth, man. Like relax.
I think you're really twisting the story right now because I'm remembering something completely different.
What are you remembering?
Not being that bad.
Okay.
I think what's happened here is we're developing a little bit of a profile of how you've operated over the years.
So hold on, let's bring it back. What's the purpose? What's the scope of this episode right here?
We're talking about our experiences in education and in the office. It seems like yours is relatively positive when you were talking to an adult in a situation that was
Mr. Williams.
pretty charged,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Shout out to him. Yeah.
Yep.
Good
right.
dude.
Good dude.
Yeah.
He set you straight
Awesome.
I guess
for that
for that
next
moment.
recess.
Yeah.
For next
Yeah.
recess, anyway.
When were you ever in the office?
Once I injured myself.
Okay.
I was trying to do like I don't know. It was like a cartwheel or a flip or something. I was only in kindergarten.
You.
That was bad.
there you go.
And I got
Last time you attended it.
had a little boo boo on my knee. So I went there for ice, and he helped me. It was really nice. I don't think I've ever been back. I haven't been back since.
In high school, I went to the office for the amount of absences I've had that year, etc. The guidance counselor called me down and had a conversation about the amount of absences I've had that year. Not by my choice, like it's a
Just
family,
around.
right? And I was always a good student. I always got all the work done. I had great grades. And my conversation now, it wasn't the main office, it was the guidance office, and it was kind of interesting where it was, what are your plans? And I'm like, well, I want to go to university. And it was like, really? And I'm like, why are you surprised? Should I be not aiming for that? Like, it just seemed like it was surprising to hear that I was after that. So then I even asked, I'm like, my mark's not good enough. It's like, no, you have great grades, but it's not typically something that you guys would strive for. And at that age, I didn't ask any more questions because you're a young kid and you're trying to be polite. But I walked out of there thinking, like, who's you guys? Like, who are they even talking about, right?
Yep.
And then as I'm older now, I was thinking I'm like the typical Portuguese kids
Yeah, absolutely.
where you would go to work in construction or go into a trade or, right? So
Absolutely. I had the same experience.
Oh, really?
I talked about this once before, and yes, we were at the same school, but it was
Yeah.
more like with course planning.
Okay.
With guidance, and
Yeah.
it was like they used to do these inventories to find out like what path you might be going on. Like you do some tests, and
Yeah,
you'd
yeah,
be
yeah,
good
yeah.
at this, you'd
Yeah.
be a good hairstylist,
Yeah.
whatever it was. That wasn't what it said for me. But the question was, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and it was grade 10, going to grade 11. It's like, what about like construction? I was like, no. And they're like, well, do you like working with your hands? I'm like, no. No.
Did you do a summer at golf course? Like,
I
didn't
did.
you help?
Yeah, did you build a golf course?
Didn't you
That
build like
was just-
award-winning golf course?
That was just raking. I was raking.
You just picked up rocks.
Picking up garbage.
You were raking
Yeah, it
the
was
money is what
groundwork.
you were doing.
But it was the thought was like, with the last name being like Portuguese descent, and we also know that like a lot of our fellow Portuguese immigrants to Cambridge
Yeah.
were at that school.
Yeah.
It was a logical career path for lots of people.
Yeah.
But to think that would be like the best option for someone like
Yeah.
me or you is kind of like, well, they weren't really looking at the whole profile.
Yeah.
I relate that now to times where we might be, checking our bias in terms of what we're counseling students on and what things are open to them, even like all the way to like de-streaming and what that is supposed to do, provide like pathways for people, anybody to do anything, right? And I feel like at that point they were kind of like locking us into something, right?
Yeah.
And but that wasn't uncommon because in truth, my grandma, she was like, when I said I was going to university, she's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you working?
Yeah.
Like, you're dumb.
Yeah.
So she told me,
Yeah.
you're dumb for going to university. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe in hindsight, maybe
Yeah.
she,
Yeah.
maybe she had some foresight. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was that mentality of like,
Yeah.
you need to go work and earn money. That was really pervasive at that time. And then there's been this evolution of like, everyone need to go to university or else you're toast.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think we're kind of circling the wagons back to like, hey,
Yeah.
there's lots of opportunities everywhere.
Yeah.
And especially with the cost incurred with post-secondary education, getting designations, like there are
Yeah.
pathways to very meaningful work that can make good money now
Mhm.
that just seem more viable.
Yeah.
I think we were in the window of like university or bust,
Mhm.
and that's not the case anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In my family, and we're talking about cousins and siblings, and I'm the only one in Canada that did go to uni.
It's crazy.
And like it does come up every now and then, as even today as a symbol of status. Sometimes even question, I'm like, how did I even get a degree?
Or like maybe I shouldn't have. I should. Maybe my grandma was right.
Yeah, right. So here's Matt.
Well, I can't really share the same experience with you guys, to be honest, right? Like, I think, I'm first generation Canadian on one side, but because of my name and my background, I would have been expected to do something else, like go to university, right? So I feel like that was always the path for me, and that's what like I heard from parents and teachers and friends and things like that. Like, I didn't have friends who went off to the world of work and out of high school, or I didn't have friends who did not think that they were going to do anything other than go to university, right? Same with like my family, my extended family. It's just like I know I had every opportunity to go and take that path, But much like what you guys are saying, it really was at that time, like high school in the 90s, like university or bust, right? From the people that I was hanging out with or getting advice from, it was like that's what everyone had to do, or else like you couldn't get a job, is what the fear was. You wouldn't be doing anything valuable, right? So
it's interesting how like our experiences shape the way that we interact with the system now still too, right? Like
I carry it with you, right?
We carry it with you. And then also I think I always forget how much we know because we're in the institution that like people that aren't part of it don't know. And there's so much there that people wouldn't know. Right. Like about how things are done, how people end up getting in the classes they want. Like all these little things. Like I've heard about people, you know, in like elementary school, for example, like trying to make sure they get the right teachers. And like people that aren't in the system don't know what buttons to press and who to talk to. But people in the system have so much institutional knowledge that I think about that often when I'm explaining
to their advantage.
Can use it to their advantage, but when I'm explaining to a parent, I forget that they don't know what I know. Right. And I need to like explain it like really basic because this is the first time they ever heard like how this is supposed to happen. Yeah. Right. I remind myself to be patient because they never heard about this before.
No, but you can really see the difference now. Like you can see how like that gap would grow, right, over time. Like especially like a new family to Canada, or people who don't have the, you know, they didn't go to university or they don't have any formal post-secondary education, right. And now their kid, by the time they get to high school, now they're already 9 years in the system, and they're that much further behind than somebody who they know what they want out of school, and they're like you're saying, they're pushing the right buttons, or they're getting a tutor, or they got their kids in after school programs or whatever. They know how to access the principal or get extra help, or you know, help their student get identified as somebody who needs an IEP or whatever that might be, versus somebody who can't navigate the system at all, right? And I feel like you really have to have your antennas up to figure out like who are those students who've fallen through the gaps by the time they get to high school. And it really sometimes, not sometimes, every year, there's a number of kids that you can identify as being new to the school who don't have those things in place that they need it. Right? So even in grade 9, we're still getting those extra supports in place for kids who come to our school who've never had it before. And to me, that's mind-blowing. Yeah. They've already done 9 years of school.
It's crazy.
Right?
Challenge is how do we engage the home in that way, right? Because my mom and dad, who were never at any of my games, weren't at any of my, didn't attend any of that. Like it's, and as a kid growing up, looking out into the audience and seeing all these adults, knowing that your parents aren't there, just because like I would tell them about it and they would be like, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah. But now with their grandkids, they're there for everything. And they're like, well, it's because now we know and we have more insight and knowledge and experience into the education, right? So they're kind of making up for, I don't want to say shortcomings, because I had great parents. They worked hard. They came to Canada when they were in their mid-30s, and they've done very well. And everything was intention to provide us with more opportunity and better life than what they had, right? So can't fault them on that. But I think in my conversations with them, they kind of sense that. They're at my kids at things for like almost everything.
It's crazy,
right? Which is really cool to see.
Yeah, that what you said was clicking for me. You probably saw me making all these switches over here. Yeah. But, I thought about that. It came like full circle for me when I was looking at, we do Christmas assemblies and concerts and stuff like that. And our schools traditionally do them during the day. Yeah. And I was thinking about who's going to that? Right. Who's going to that? Yeah. Who gets access to that? Who has time during the day to go to that? Right. And, because being an impartial person, I would just say, why don't you do it at night? But I guess that there's like other things, putting demands on teachers to be at night. But I feel like there's a big group that doesn't get a chance to be part of that because they can't take time off work. Who are we catering to, and who are we helping be a part of the community? Like just something that sounds so like simple or benign, but like certain people couldn't go to that. Yeah, are we setting people up to not be part of the community? And like you talking about your parents. Yeah. That just wasn't part of their culture either. My parents either. Like when you're talking about the thing with the guidance counselor telling you course selection, like I didn't go home and tell my parents that I had that conversation. Did you? No. But our students today, they actually are pretty good at doing that, which I give them credit for. They're like, that's true. Listen, this didn't go off. So that's a good thing because they get more talking. But you and I just sort of sucked it up and said, I guess I'm going to be in construction, or we stood up for ourselves and said, no thanks. I don't know. It was a different time.
Yeah, like I remember that conversation vividly because as I walked out of there, I was kind of self-doubting, like, should I be doing this? Like, is this like what I want to be doing? And then part of me is like, well, I'll try. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, I won't, right? Like, it was almost kind of like that low risk because they're not really expecting you to do it.
That's right.
So I'll try it.
Just shoot for it.
Right? Yeah. Right.
It's awesome. Still thinking about you in the principal's office.
Yeah, that's right.
You had more incidents than Delmar and I. That's good.
1-0. That's what
I think it was like more like 5-0.
1-0.
5-0 is what I think.
No,
5-0.
not even close.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
How is it with your own kids? Like, we all got kids,
Yeah.
right? I always carry that conversation and that experience with me
Yeah.
when I'm talking to
100%.
other kids at work, but mainly when I'm talking to
Yeah.
my own kids, right?
Absolutely.
And it's not, hey, you need to go to university, or hey, you need to go to trade school. It's more just like, hey, you do you, right? You're pretty awesome,
Absolutely.
and you don't let anyone else.
I think the biggest change for sure is the like transparency and accountability for teachers in schools now is just under the microscope a lot more than it was in the past.
Yeah.
Like my parents' involvement with school was nil,
Yeah.
to be honest. And maybe it's the phones. I don't know what it is. But like I went away for the day. I was gone. I came back and had school go great.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Like right now, there's just so much more, and it's probably a good thing in a lot of ways. Like transparency, like parents know what their kids are learning because it's posted on online learning portal or whatever. There's just more ways to kind of like engage and follow up on your kids than before. It was just like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's a
Your
great
parents
point,
know what's going
actually.
on. My parents had no clue.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
But too, like, you know, Mel and I, we really try to stay engaged with our kids
Right.
too, right? So we know what's going on because we know how to access
That's
the
right.
online learning.
That's right.
So we know that we're getting the messages home or the announcements about what they're learning in school that week or what's coming up. And then I think the other piece is like, you know, you encourage your kids to get involved and you go to parent-teacher interviews. And you know what? I don't need to because I know my kids are doing fine, but I want to be there because I'm showing
right.
support for the kids. And it's not about like what you were saying, like you have to go and do this thing.
That's right.
It's about, hey, you work hard, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right. And just building that into them and showing them that how much you care about it.
Interviews. My mom and dad would go to everyone.
Did they?
Like
Good for
grade
you.
9, 10, 11, 12, OAC, even OAC. Like
Did they really?
They would go to every interview. So, yeah, there was something weird about that. Go to all of them.
Yeah.
Are we wrapping it up?
Wrapping it up.
We'll talk about our high school more later. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't
Okay,
think you guys want to get into those.
It's
years.
all about character building right now.
We-
We're in the first chapter in the novel right now. Like, it's all just...
we did not interrogate Matt hard enough at all. Yeah, there's more. There's
Just
more.
leave it out. Come
There's
on.
more layers to this
Come
onion.
on.
More layers to this onion we need to peel back, I think.
100%.
Okay, wicked.
All right.
All right. Good job, guys.
Okay, guys. Good job. Good job.
Oh, that was so. You guys got to work on that. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of School Leader Vibes. We're incredibly grateful for your time and your contribution to shaping the future, one student at a time. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to connect with us on Instagram at School Leader Vibes for more inspiration. Lastly, please share the podcast with fellow leaders and educators who might benefit from these conversations. Until next time, keep vibing.